Good evening, morning. What time is it? Good time of day, everyone. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I am your host, the Ranting Monkey, and I hope you're having a good day wherever you are. Yeah, this is kind of late for me. I I got off our stream last night, right, guys? And I was like, I'm going to bed. And I turned on City Skylines and I ended up playing for a few hours. Went to bed about 2 o'clock. Woke up when Lady Monkey was getting ready for work at about 9, actually about 8:30. And been sitting here since going, should I do a show? Should I? Yeah, fuck it. Let's do a show. Vincent, Moonshock, Faithless, Ebony, Suede Senator. I like that name. Kato, Jaeger Pony, WR Costin, Circus Zero. Hi, everybody. I hope you're well. Remember, guys, first 5 minutes only. And otherwise, you got to pay me if you want me to scream out your name. I'm not telling you to pay me to scream out your name. I'm saying be here in the first 5 minutes. Sean, John Migda. Why do I want to always say Digma? Pumpkin Trucker, Sir Wolfgang, Kevin, Dante, Green Thunder. Holy crap, there's a lot of you guys in here today. Simon, Random, Necrosol, Nuts, how you doing, sweetheart? Corey, Stacy, Della Hayes, Tweaked. I'm going to pass out. Saint Fugi, you actually made it in time for me to yell your name. You keep coming in just after. Kingslayer Damocles. And joining us right now, Satsu, how you doing, man?
What up, Dow?
Oh, man, my speakers are turned way down. That sounded like you were across your room, and I know that's my fault. Hang on. I got to finish this. Where were we? Seamus, check your logic. Josephine, when you make me read it, that gives me a problem. RJ, all you need. Maniac Man, Poppy, I saw you in there, sweetie. How you doing? Sad Boy, holy fucking Jesus. Okay, and Truckin' Bear, man, I might have to change this too. You're gonna make me pass out yelling names, dude.
Why are you yelling out names?
Well, okay. Peter started this. You know Peter.
Mm-hmm.
And come in and he would yell, Monkey, so I'd yell back.
Mm-hmm.
Jade Knight, Whiskey, how you guys doing? Opinionated Scotsman, hi. So he would yell and I would yell back and other people started doing it. And it became a thing where I was doing this throughout the whole show and it made it sound like I had Tourette's because I'd be in the middle of saying something, I have to stop to yell somebody's name. But that couldn't go on. There was actually one show, dude, where this happened the entire goddamn show. So it's like, all right, guys, first 5 minutes only. After that, you got to pay me if you want me to scream your name.
Yeah, my first thought was, yeah, that's gonna get out of hand, isn't it?
It is, and you know what? It's fun. Nuit, how you doing? If they just give me like a couple of seconds in between, let me breathe. Princess Unicorn Nipples. I never thought I'd shout that in my life, but I do love that username. How you doing today, Satsu?
I'm good. I just woke up a little while ago, and I've been leveling up my crafters on Final Fantasy, and I'm at the end game now. I'm doing some end game crafting, which means a lot of repetitive crafting to get the script so you can get the higher level gear, and that's what I've been doing.
I remember that from my Warcraft days, man. Varor, Tyler, Shady Grin. Man, I'm going to get all of them in. If I missed your name, I apologize. Say it again, and oh, no, I don't want to say that because everybody will do it again. I won't know who did what.
You just broke your rule, by the way.
What's that?
You just told them they got to pay you if you want them to say your name.
No, it's after the first 5 minutes. I give them the first 5 minutes free.
Okay.
They get the first 5 minutes free. After that, if they show up. And look, I'm not going to lie. I don't want them to pay me. I want them to be here in the first 5 minutes. Vincent! Didn't I already yell at Vincent? Was that you? Are you fucking with me? Check your logic. Did I already? See, now I don't even know. I'm just going to have to call it now because you guys are fucking with me. So over on the Twitter, man. Over on the Twitter. Roland Bear. The oh God. It's like deja vu, man. We're talking about Trump in Charlottesville again.
Why?
Well, you see, when when Joe Biden announced his presidential run, Shiogarath, Pumpkin Trucker, thank you so much. Okay, Google, play Shock the Monkey. You didn't. I caught it before you got me, so other people might be mad at you right now, but not me. Nothing for you here. Unconscious. So in Joe Biden's announcement, he pretty much just went after Trump, and part of what he went after him for was the Charlottesville response. M Jizzle, J Mizzle. That's just two different words.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry about that, Mizzle.
M Jizzle.
And yeah, whoops. That's a bad. And that's time, guys. That is time. If you want me to yell your name, it costs you money now. So Biden goes after Trump, and a part of it is the Charlottesville thing. So Trump is on with Sean Hannity last night, apparently, and they discuss it a little bit because it hasn't been discussed enough. And so Robert E. Lee, for fuck's sake, Robert E. Lee is trending on Twitter. Because the statue that people were going there to, I'm using air quotes, protect, was a statue of Robert E. Lee. Necrosol, thank you. I didn't have money to send for your birthday till now, so happy late birthday. Thank you so much. Yes. Guys, if you missed my birthday, feel free to throw money at me for that too. God, I'm a whore.
Yeah, for real. If you missed mine, Streamlabs, son.
Oh, I have my Monkey in the Morning tags down there, so I don't think yours is in it. So
that's fine. I'll be more than happy to shill it.
Yeah, pimp that shit over in the side chat, man, or in the chat. See, we're talking about this stupid shit again, and one of the things I saw, Jim Acosta, one of our favorites around these areas. Oh, it's right. It's Angela's birthday. We got to stop for a moment. Angela. Oh, yeah. She said she wouldn't be able to hear the show tonight, so she was hoping we could sing for her. And I will do my best to remember, sweetie. I will do my best to remember tonight. But until then, this one's for you. And a 1 and a 2. Happy birthday to you.
Donate the monkey.
Happy birthday to you. Shabbat, shabbat.
Or Satsu.
Happy birthday, dear Angela. Shabbat, shabbat.
Or Angela, whatever.
Happy birthday to you. I hope you have a great day. And like I said, I will do my best to remember. You know my memory, though. And Pat, what's up, man? Yeah, so we're reliving the Charlottesville thing. And Jim Acosta this morning, he did a fact check of Donald Trump, man.
Okay.
He tweeted out, Trump defends his, quote, very fine people comments on Charlottesville. Quote, people were there protesting the taking down of the monument of Robert E. Lee. Everyone knows that. Fact check. There were many neo-Nazis and white supremacists.
Okay, and there were also many leftists and many Antifa people. So...
Well, in his original comment, the original thing that everybody, that was too vague. He said there were bad people on both sides. He said that. Yeah. So unless you don't think neo-Nazis and white supremacists are bad people, he covered them. I get people wanting him to be more specific, and 2 days later he specifically called out neo-Nazis, white supremacists, racists. He used all three of those terms. But before then, he bad people on both sides. What part of that are you missing?
Well, that was the issue. That was the issue that everybody had, because they're like, no, every single person on one side is bad, and every single person that showed up on the other side were good.
Yes.
That was the argument then. There was like, no, there's no bad people on both sides. 100% of the people on one side are all bad, and 100% of all the people on the other side were all good. And that's what they wanted him to say. That was the whole issue. That's why they got upset. They're like, oh, they're good people on both sides, huh?
Right. Some Dutch dude, thank you so much over on the Streamlabs, who says, monkey, some Dutch dude. Also, hi, Satsu.
Hello.
Yeah, Satsu doesn't make it to these very often because of the normally really fucked up times I do these.
Yeah, it's all over the damn place.
But we're happy to have you here, Satsu. Yeah, so look, Jim Acosta, your fact check there. You're right. There were neo-Nazis and white supremacists there. But your fact check has fuck all to do with what Trump said.
Yeah, because what was Trump's quote again?
What he's fact checking is people were there protesting the taking down of the monument of Robert E. Lee. Everyone knows that.
Right, which is a fact. There were people there who were doing that. And that was the main reason that people were there in the first place.
Well, there have been protests. There were protests before this over that monument, and there were protests after this over that monument. You know what didn't happen? Nobody got killed.
Yeah.
Nobody. It didn't end up on the news. I think we saw that in like 2 newspapers. They're having a thing down there again, and nobody cared because it wasn't a big press thing. It all happened because of the Unite the Right. Unite the Right decided, you know what, they're doing this thing down there. Let's bring all of the honkies together. And unfortunately, that did bring a whole lot of racist honkies down there. And nobody, even Trump didn't deny that, you stupid shit. But it's another one.
He did have the nerve to suggest that even one of those people were decent, because that's impossible.
Well, and like you said, he suggested there were bad people on the other side. Here's these long and short of it, guys. If the anti-protesters, the anti-white supremacy, whatever you want to call them, if they didn't show up and start violence, there's no violence there.
Yeah.
There's been no violence since.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have to have 2 sides to fight.
Yeah. Like I don't know. It's so weird. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense, this whole setup where it's just like there's a thing going on somewhere in a place that you weren't invited to, and you show up and like just make yourself known and make a big scene, and something happens to you because you were there, and you're like, oh my God, this horrible thing, these people, they came and they attacked me or something happened to me. And it's like, well, why were you there? Yeah. Like, if you weren't there, there's no chance of you being harmed or attacked. But you literally went for that reason.
Let us be clear. We're not defending the death of Heather Heyer. What happened there on all sides was fucked up. Everybody should have just stayed the fuck away from each other. But
yeah, because what happened, the reason that dude even sped through was because they were surrounding and attacking his car. Like, that was the whole reason he backed up and pulled back through. Like, that would not have happened if y'all weren't there attacking his car.
If these protests and counter protests, how about y'all do this? When you want to have a protest, okay, so you go to location A, the counter protest, go across town to location B, okay? And do it that way, because every time we've seen all this violence and stuff, it's because these 2 shitbag groups come together. And don't tell me you're there because you're anti-racist when you're there, throwing racial slurs at the police who are arresting you for doing illegal shit. Or
and oh my God.
Because we've seen him, or beating up a Jew because he was walking across the street to use the bathroom. I mean,
yeah, or yelling, "Oh, that's a white dude right there. He white, get him, beat his ass. He white." Like, come on, like, who is supposed to believe that you're innocent in this whole situation? And like I said, the setup is so obvious and it's so malicious. Like, they'll go there, but like, these people are violent, and we're here to stop their violence. It's like, oh, they're violent. That's fucked up. It's like, yeah. How do you know they're violent? Because I went there, I threw a bottle at one of their heads, and then they attacked me. That's how you know how violent they are. And it's just like, what the fuck? And that shit slides. It plays through the media, and it's fine. They're like, yeah,
even when they show them, even when they show them throwing bottles.
Yes.
They'll show them throwing the bottles leading to the violence and talk about how violent the other side is. I'm like,
they retaliated. They retaliated, which proves how violent they are, because when they were violently attacked, they retaliate. That shit blows my mind.
So yeah, Joe Biden, you've already pissed me off. First day of your fucking presidential campaign by bringing this shit up again and making it trend on my goddamn Twitter. We've had this discussion several times. I'd much rather be talking about Joe Biden sniffing people. I do like that this is the main thing that came out of his campaign launch, not a policy proposal or how he wants to help out the country in any meaningful way. No, Donald Trump, he said there were bad people on both sides. So he fucking did.
Well, it was kind of the best thing he could have done, because that whole Biden is a fucking creeper thing is still lingering, and they need something else to be in the media's mouth right now. So I think that his first order of business when he got in, all of his advisors and the people around him was like, you need to get this shit out of the media. And the only way to do that is to resurrect some bullshit that Trump said before, because they are eager to have Trump's dick deep down their throat. So just bring that shit up, get the heat off of you for a while. That's all they're going to talk about. They will refuse to talk about anything related to you being a creeper. Just don't smell anybody else until the election.
Well, on that note, you're not far off, because one of the stories I read this morning, Warren and Sanders pounce as Biden enters the race, and the actual CNN tweet for this article was Joe Biden is in for 2020, and the attacks from fellow Democrats have already began.
Mm-hmm. And that was going to happen.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, he knew that was going to happen. So he's like, if I put up this fucking mirror and just deflect all this shit back at Trump and bring up shit that he did, the media would much rather talk about that than me.
I've mentioned several times the Democrats in their primaries are the dirtiest motherfuckers on the planet. They are. Dirty.
They're fucking dirty as fuck. But that's what makes them so good at what they do, because they can be. Like they can be openly hypocritical, they can be openly dirty, they can be openly underhanded, and people will just treat it like, they'll come up with some logical excuse on why it's fine. So, I mean, it's nice to be in that position where you could literally do anything and somebody somewhere is justifying it. They're just like, yeah, it's fine. It's cool. Especially when that somebody somewhere is the mainstream media. It's like you could do anything you want.
Zero says, what were some of the hits towards Biden? Well, let's see. Warren said, I got in the fight because families just didn't have anyone, and Biden was on the side of the credit card companies. She's painting him as a big business corporate Democrat. She's not wrong about that. He is. It's going to be interesting to see how he fights that. I'm looking through I don't want to read the whole article on here, but basically it's that's the arguments against, and that's why it's Biden era Warren and Sanders jumping on him, is that he's a corporate shill. He's a corporate shill. He's in it. He's there for the corporations, not the families. Did Obama give Biden his N pass yet? No. Biden has a lot to answer for. He really does. He's been in politics a long time. And one of the problems with being in politics for a long time, especially these days, is if you go back to some of the policy positions that these guys held, say even 30 years ago, which were perfectly normal at the time, say being against gay marriage. I mean, they're on the record being against stuff like that, or being against gay marriage. Pumpkin Trucker, thank you so much. Siri, go to Opinionated Scotsman on YouTube. Thank you for the donation. Stop trying to get me to make people's stuff go bad. You guys are going to get me in trouble. Okay, Google. I'm just going to leave it there. Mine actually came up because that's how I say it when I talk to it. I like to talk dirty to my Google. Yay, monkey.
And that's the problem with America now.
But no, Biden's going to have a lot to answer for, because he has such a long public record. And even if he's changed his opinions on things, he's got to answer for why he had that opinion in the first place.
Yep. which is fucking fascinating.
It is.
Oh man, that concept, man. And that reminds me, you remember that Indian YouTuber I was telling you about? His name is Abster or whatever, and he does those really long, deep dives into video, damn, what am I trying to say? Into topics or whatever. And he did one on slavery and how the fact that slavery being so divisive right now is because all the conversations around slavery is comparing it to current day standards, which is literally an impossible thing to do. Yeah, he was like, you literally cannot do that. There is no way you can compare, what happened back then when slavery was almost necessary. You know what I mean? Where when tribes had a decision between, are we going to kill all of these people off or use them? Because if we don't use them, like if we go into their place and we don't take advantage of these people who are already doing bad, they're already doing horrible. If we don't take them and bring them into our fold, they're just going to die off anyway. Like they're just going to die. So using them in this situation is necessary, because if not, that's wasted resources, that's wasted people. Like it was almost a system that kind of had to be done back then, and it was fucked up. I don't support it. But that's because I'm living right now comfortably in a world where it's not necessary. You know what I mean? Like it's not necessary for that type of shit to happen.
Here's a great example. Apparently back in 1975, Joe Biden embraced segregation, calling it a matter of black pride. That's going to be something you got to answer for, Joe. He's, like I said, he's been in politics a long goddamn time, man. And plus, he was the senator that was in charge when the Anita Hill thing happened. And in this year of post #MeToo, Joe, you didn't let Anita have her say. And now he's already apologized for that, which was stupid. Her complaints were fucking retarded. For those of you who don't know, Anita Hill accused Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas of sexual harassment when she worked for him. Now, he was such a bad sexual harasser, and the treatment was so horrible, she actually followed him from one job to another several times. But the examples of sexual harassment include him talking about porn, not trying to, feel her up or anything, just talking about porn. Specifically, porn with long dong silver in it. He also supposedly asked her, "Who put this pubic hair in my Coke?" Which, by the way, that is a valid question. If you find a pubic hair on your Coke, you need to know whose it is. I mean, wait, look, if you found a pubic hair on your Coke, wouldn't you be like, "Who the fuck's pubic hair is this?"
Aether Toast just made a pretty good point. He said, "Isn't being a matter of black pride the current argument for segregation?"
Basically. Well, kind of. It's actually they haven't gone to the black pride. They're saying it's so they can have a safe place away from white people, because white people don't understand them. The Zero says the Anita Hill case was stupid. It was fucking retarded, but it set the stage for everything we've seen since. Everything we saw with Kavanaugh happened because of Anita Hill. Everything we've seen with colleges he looked at my butt, he needs to never be able to work. That shit all came about because of Anita Hill. It actually changed what sexual harassment was in our country. Before that, sexual harassment was, if you want your job, you better suck my dick. It was, if you want that promotion, you're going to have sex with me. That's what sexual harassment was before that. And then after that, it became, if you ever mention sex around a woman and she doesn't want to hear it, you sexually harassed her. Even if she does want to hear it, if somebody else overhears you talking with a woman about sex in the workplace, they can go report you for sexual harassment, which all came about because of Anita Hill. Thank you.
The simple act of complimenting a woman can be sexual harassment. Like complimenting her appearance in any way could be sexual harassment if she says it felt that way.
Mm-hmm. No, again, it doesn't even have to be her. Somebody overhearing it if they're offended by that. Yeah. Corey, thank you so much. Hey, Satsu, want to play some Final Fantasy 14? Also, make a video, monkey. Thanks for the donation, and I will try. I will eventually.
Corey, I'm online and I'm in Gridania right now, so if you want to play, that's where I'm at.
Nut says, in that case, monkey sexually harasses us all the time. I do. I sexually harass the fuck out of my audience. You know why? Because she's sexy bitches.
Y'all some sexy ass bitches.
Sexy bitches.
Especially you. You know who I'm talking to.
That's right. Yeah, so that's what I woke up to. Man, I got to stop going on Twitter first thing in the morning. Lady Monkey came in here and she gave me a kiss. And she looked at the screen. She goes, "Are you starting shit on Twitter already?" I'm like, "It's what I do. It's what I do." And I was actually, wasn't I, who the fuck was I responding to at that time? I think it was a Krasenstein. Because, man, they are the gift that just keeps on giving.
Somebody said, "Is it sexual harassment if they like it?" If I sexually harass you and you like it, but somebody else overhears it and they don't, then yes, it's still sexual harassment.
That is true. Actually,
it is still sexual harassment.
It can go even worse than that. This is honest to God true. If let's say I sexually harass Nuts, right? And everybody in here is cool with it, but nobody reports it, you're all guilty of sexual harassment. You're guilty of letting it happen. And imagine that being your workplace, and that's true. Dark Shade says, "I'm sorry for being a butthead, monkey."
I think we should clarify, though, when we mean sexual harassment, we mean doing very mundane things that aren't really sexual harassment, but somebody else would call it that.
Yep.
Not actually sexually harassing people.
What some overly sensitive douche nugget in the HR department decides is sexual harassment. Dark Shade, I don't remember you being a butthead. If you were, you're forgiven.
I don't forgive you.
Yeah, this morning, Brian Krasenstein, the first thing I actually read this morning was, "Stop saying we're in a constitutional crisis since Trump refuses to allow his aides to answer congressional subpoenas. The constitutional crisis is the fact that Democrats are not using their power to arrest these people, flagrantly breaking the law, lock them up, no mercy." A couple of problems.
Whoa, hold on. Lock them up. That's
yeah.
That's problematic, yo.
That is very problematic. We've learned that.
You can't say that.
Yes, Corey, my catchphrase, "Shh, just let it happen," would be deeply problematic in a workplace. Don't use that at work. But here's Mr. Krasenstein. The Democrats in Congress does not have the power to arrest anyone. They literally don't. There's no power for them to arrest anyone. Calling you morbid monkey and such. Thank you, Dark Shade. When was that?
Oh, he was talking about.
Was that last night?
Back when, was it last? I think so. Yeah, when you were talking about the cereal and how you used to be fat or some shit.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. No, dude, you were fine. Don't worry about it. Ask Satsu, man. You can't offend me.
Yeah,
it takes a lot to offend me.
That cripple fat fuck ain't got no feelings.
I don't got no feelings, man. You were fine.
It's the medication.
No, I've always been like this. I don't take things personally, even sometimes I suppose if they're meant that way. I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. Which, by the way, is a wonderful way to annoy people. If they're trying to hurt your feelings and you're just like, I don't care. They'll be like, this motherfucker.
Yeah, so they don't like that.
You don't like that?
No, I said, yeah, they don't like that when you disregard their massive efforts to make you feel bad.
But yeah, so that's what I woke up to. I was fucking with Krasenstein this morning because one, the president not allowing people to answer subpoenas like that. This usually ends up, especially if it's within the cabinet, it ends up going through the courts because you have matters of executive privilege and things like that. But this is what happens when you have somebody who jumps on the bandwagon of #resist so that they can sell a children's book where Robert Mueller is eventually the hero without his shirt on. Have you ever seen that, Satsu?
No, I keep hearing people talk about it, but
oh my God, the Krasenstein's book, yeah, it is fucking horrible. At the end, Robert Mueller's there in slacks and no shirt, like posing like Superman. Like, the fuck is that? What the fuck is that? What else has happened this morning? I think that's all that happened this morning. So let's delve back into the past, shall we? I don't know. I don't have a good back into the past sound. Dark Shade says, I know, but I still feel bad for saying that. Oh, don't feel bad, man. Seriously, don't. You're good, man. Ask Diesel Dave. He said a whole lot.
Host, huh?
He said a whole lot worse than that to me. We're still real good. Pumpkin Chucker says, you say let it happen. I say okay. Google shows tids. You got to see titties from that? That's cool. I haven't seen titties this morning.
I have, because Squishy sleeps naked.
Nice. Lady Monkey sleeps in a very thin nightgown. And I've mentioned this before. I'll walk in there, and not only will it be pulled up. Now, this thing comes down like almost to her knees, right? But I'll come in there, and she will be like spread eagle. And that thing will be pulled up to her belly button, and I can see mostly everything. It's like she is begging me to do something inappropriate when she's sleeping.
You know, Squishy, when she gets home, she's fucking Bruce Almighty's her clothes off. She's like, I'm at home now. This shit is over with.
Oh, somebody just asked Shio if he has live chat on. I didn't have live chat on, so sorry about that, guys.
Oh, shit. Me neither. Some of you motherfuckers getting ignored.
Yeah, there was other Krasenstein news because I do want to talk about him. Diesel Dave says, in my defense, only when I'm drunk. Dave, I love you, man. And yes, it is usually when you're really fucked up. So yesterday, Brian Krasenstein had a meltdown because Ann Coulter called him retarded. Actually, she called him retard boy. So she says, hey, retard boy, Obama's Attorney General Eric Holder was the first HE in history to be held in both criminal and civil contempt for stonewalling Congress. And he goes on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is it more than 6? Yeah, a 6 thread, a 6 tweet thread where he doesn't answer that at all because he'd been bitching about how William Barr has told people not to testify before Congress, right? So she responds, hey, retard boy, Eric Holder was the first to do this. How much time in that 6 tweet thread do you think he addressed her point there about Eric Holder?
Why would he address her point?
You are like psychic or something. He spent 6 tweets bitching about her, calling him retarded.
Of course.
I'm like, oh,
because it's almost the same as when somebody's wrong about something and you make a grammar error. Well, they're just like, oh, thank God. Now I don't have to actually address this. I could just talk about their grammar error and that'll, try to make them feel dumb about it. And then at that point, I literally do not have to reply to the actual criticism. I could just do this now. And if they try to shift me back to the point, then I can say, oh, you're trying to deflect because you're an idiot and you messed up. It's the same tactic.
And yeah, there's a whole bunch of people in this thread who have happily reported Ann Coulter for calling him a retard. I have a son with cerebral palsy, and I'm not always sensitive about the use of the word. But you, Ann Coulter, mean it in the most vile of ways. She called a non-retarded person a retard. I think it would be more insensitive if she said that about her kid, about this lady's kid. Like, what happened to that retard? That's a lot different than, hey, retard boy, talking to somebody you disagree with online.
Well, isn't it hilarious that calling a person who's not retarded retard boy is more offensive than calling a retard?
Yeah, these people, man. uh, this outrage culture. How dare you use that R word? I actually saw somebody say that the R word was as bad as the N word. So
They said, they said it just as, if not worse.
yeah.
And I'm just like, I mean, I guess. But here's the thing, though. Most of the time, 90% of the time, when I hear people say that it's worse, this is how it's phrased. The word retard is much worse than the N word.
Yes.
And I'm just like, pardon me, but I don't want to alarm you, but you just said one of them and not the other. So
there's actually a great debate out there. You can find it on YouTube, and I forget who it was through, but there was a guy who said saying midget was as bad as saying the N word, and the guy who was debating him about goes, I can prove that's not true, because you just said midget. You won't even say what the N word is.
Yeah.
Like, what are you thinking?
You just said one, but wouldn't say the other. So
Necrosol's mad we made him laugh in public. You know what? The Rancing Monkey is for entertainment purposes only. That's your own damn fault. King Sailor Damocles, thank you. Wasn't Biden the reason Garland didn't get on the Supreme Court because his 92 speech? That might come back to bite him. Yeah, that was part of it. There was the idea that a sitting president shouldn't be allowed to nominate somebody as an election was going on, and yeah, Biden was part of that. Yeah, there were a lot of senators who were like, "No, let's not do it." Yeah, I think the ones that are going to bite Biden in the ass the most are going to be Anita Hill, and I'm waiting for the stuff he said about Obama. What was the thing he said? If you go into a convenience store where I live, you have to be able to understand an accent or something like that. Basically implying that all the people who work at convenience stores are Indian or something like that. Yeah. He said a lot of really dumb shit that's going to come back and bite him in the ass. Did you see Lewinsky's tweet responding to what if the Starr report was as redacted or summarized as a Mueller report? I didn't. I do follow her, or I used to at least. I did not see the tweet. They want to be outraged to get attention, monkey. Sometimes. Excuse me. And sometimes I think some of them actually are as outraged as they say. Just because they're
some of those psychos are actually like genuinely upset about some of the shit. It still doesn't make sense just because they're genuine.
It's easy.
Actually, that makes it a little worse.
Yeah, it's easy to whip up a mob, and that's what happens in these instances. Ouchie says, "Monkey, please say my name. I'm in the bath listening to your voice." Hi, Ouchie. How you doing? Don't touch right there. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's mob mentality. You get the mob whipped up, and the mob is genuinely angry. The person who started it might not be, but the mob is mad as fuck. It's because mobs are retarded.
Well, that's one of the things that really frustrates me about all this. Like the people who actually have the power, like the people who genuinely control all the shit, like all the things we complain about and we argue with each other about. The people pulling the strings, they're the puppet masters, and they'll walk into a room and they'll put on this face and make this claim and just lay it out, and then they'll walk away from the explosion without looking and put on sunglasses and just like, all right, peasants, do my bidding. And then they'll go continue their life, go to their little fancy restaurants and eat and talk to their family about how they just stirred up this shit in this county or this state and how people are losing their minds and they started this debate that they don't give a fuck about, like at all. They said it, they went on Twitter and they did their little virtue signal, and now they are living a life of luxury like they do every day. But everybody else, all these other people up under them, are fighting to the death, like tooth and nail for this thing. And they're like, this person really believes in us. They're fighting for us. Look what he said. And they don't give a shit. They forgot they tweeted that shit. They sipping champagne at their beach house. Like these dumb motherfuckers.
Right.
And it just drives me crazy, man.
Speaking of driving me crazy, I have to do this. On this show, Satsu, I show a lot of screenshots. So Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, nobody. GOP. Let's pose our older male members next to cardboard cutouts of young female legislators. And then if we read the actual tweet there, this is the Republican Party of Kentucky. Throwback Thursday. Last month, the socialists threatened the lone hashtag Kentucky hashtag Democrat in Congress if he didn't bend to their radical extremist will. Now let's read that without the hashtag. Last month, the socialists threatened the lone Kentucky Democrat in Congress. And then they show a picture of it. This is a picture of Yarmouth, I think is his name, who is a Kentucky Democrat posing with a cutout of Cortez. She deleted this tweet because people started making fun of her a lot because she didn't even realize that the man she was trying to drag here. I got to stop saying drag. Every time you guys hear me say drag, throw $1 in the drag jar because that is a stupid phrase and it got in my head and I need to get it out. Okay. So the guy she's trying to drag here, she didn't realize is a fucking Democrat. I know. But I just told them to throw $1 in the drag jar.
I see.
See what I did there? Now you're making me point out my devious ways. Anyway, you guys know I'm a whore. But not only did she not realize that this was a Democrat, which, okay, you know, the House is a big place. Maybe she doesn't know everybody there. But just last month, she co-sponsored a bill with this man. She co-sponsored a bill with this man. We pay when he screws up. Don't you always, though, nuts? I mean, seriously, you guys are the ones who suffer when I fuck up. Because I am the least professional monkey on the intranets. Yeah.
I wonder now, it's probably in our best interest to do the typical thing that a lot of people on the left do and just be like, that was unfortunate. That thing happened. So from now on, I'm going to MIB flash myself. And it just didn't happen. It's not a thing that exists. If anybody brings it up, I'm just going to be like, I'm not sure what you're referring to. That would probably be the best course of action. But I'm interested to see what her excuse is because she's going to have to blame it on someone else. It's going to have to be racism. It's going to have to be sexism. Something is going to have to be the reason why she mistook him for somebody else.
You're missing a huge thing here, Satsu. She's never going to have to apologize for this at all. Never. The only people who are making fun of her for this are people on the right. There'll be some. Breitbart will probably make a joke or an article about it. Ben Shapiro's thing. What is it? I forget his news organization. The Daily Wire. They'll probably do something about it. Nobody else will. And so she'll be able to just sweep it under the. I never said that. That never, Satsu. That never happened.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. But I don't think she'll be able to resist the temptation of clapping back at any Republicans or any other people who point it out.
Well,
like, so what happened with that? Because they're going to catch her on the spot. You know what I mean? They're going to be like, yeah, what's going on with this situation? I'm curious what her reasoning is going to be.
I'm glad you brought that up because this is again why she won't have to do it. Here's another tweet from her yesterday. Guys, she's only been back at the time on Twitter less than 24 hours, and she fucked up a couple of times here. This is a tweet that a lot of people responded to. You'll see there's 4,000 retweets on this, almost 5. We shouldn't incarcerate people for nonviolent offenses. We shouldn't have school to prison pipeline. We shouldn't sentence POC more than white people for similar crimes, but we do. We're so eager to talk about punishment, but correcting our injustices is controversial. The gayest person on YouTube says, Monkey, the gayest person on YouTube. And RVA Dar says, Monkey, I can't throw $1 every time you screw up. I would go broke. That is probably true, but we haven't tested that out.
Yeah, we need some science to back that up.
We do. We need some scientific evidence on that. So then she goes on to say this. GOP already bad faith attacking nonviolent offenses. Clearly, if you're looking at context clues in my thread, and limits to 280 characters, you know I'm referring to nonviolent drug offenses. Oh, are you? Are you now, Miss Cortez? The you didn't say drug offenses anywhere in there, and she had said it in another part of the thread, but she goes on to, to be very generic there, very generic, and that's not anybody else's fault, especially when earlier in the thread you said this. Now this is a branch from that thing where she ignores that she ever said this. Many rebut the voting question by saying, well, those people shouldn't be jailed. Glad you feel that way. But the truth is the U.S. incarcerated, blah, blah, blah. And then she shows these two pictures. A mother convicted of a felony for lying to get her kids into school, followed by prosecutor wants Felicity Huffman to serve up to 10 months in jail. I don't know how those two things are different, because the other one didn't tell us how long that chick was going to jail for.
I was looking at Streamlabs this whole time I had it up, but I had to refresh it to see Streamlabs. Some Dutch dude says, "Hi man, good to see you on these. You should put your Streamlabs in your YouTube about section." I had to go to a video to find it. Share your stuff here shamelessly because Monkey doesn't mind. And he also says Satsu should check his Streamlabs. What fund is this donation going into? Pretty much any donations now that you guys give me through Streamlabs is going directly into the baby fund, because Squishy, she got 3 more months before she's ready to pop. So I am trying to really save up because she's going to be out of work for a while. And as you guys know, I'm not rolling in dough being a YouTuber. So I'm trying to get us a little cushion before that happens. So if you're curious as to where any money that you guys donate through Streamlabs is going, that's where it's going. So I appreciate any assistance you guys can give me.
Yeah, Nuts says, read the links, people, because she's been dropping the Streamlabs links both for me and Satsu in the chat there, because she's a sweetie.
Yes, thank you.
I thought being semantically right was bad, says Darkshade, right? Right? This is Miss morally right is better than being actually right, which I guess explains a lot about her. If you take her morally right rather than factually right and look at the picture where she called somebody she sponsored a bill with a Republican, I guess she was still morally right there. She was dragging on the Republicans, so that's all that really mattered, right? Doesn't matter that she got the facts wrong. God, she's such an idiot. And then people are like, Monkey, why do you talk about her so much? Because she's a fucking idiot. Look, if you find me somebody as dumb as her, I'll be happy to drag on them too, because that's what I do. I fuck with people. Lindsay says, what am I, chopped liver? No, why? What'd I miss? Did I do something wrong? Give Satsu money. He has a child on the way and will need money for alcohol. Yeah.
No, I can handle a baby.
You know what? My son and his fiance, they're coming out of that first 6 months. That first 6 months is brutal. And I know you've been through it, and I'm not saying that you can't do it. But I forgot how hard it was until I'm watching them go through it. Just the lack of sleep. And we got really lucky with our children. Our children took to a normal sleep schedule pretty quick. My granddaughter is not. She is all over the damn place. Ranting Monkey, Brother Bear's right up there when he went demo. So who's Brother Bear? I'm sure I know, but it's not. Monkey, what's the funniest way to flip off an angry mob? Just give them the finger. They don't like that. But they're going to beat your ass if you do it.
One of the things about me when it comes to just like getting things done or my drive to like do things or whatever, because Monkey, we talk about this a lot, like my lack of confidence and optimism when it comes to certain things or whatever.
Yep.
The weird thing about me is most of that like most of the confidence and like drive that I should have is usually distributed out to others. So I am at my best when I'm working for or doing things for other people. And like around, even though it wasn't my kid, or even though back when I was really young and I was babysitting other people, whatever, I would go above and beyond if it was for somebody else. So like the excitement that I'm getting from like getting shit done and really putting my all into being the best dad that I can be is I'm like, this is gonna be my kid. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
It's gonna be my kid, and I am going to fucking like just the a lot of the motivation that I get to do anything, even now, like when I don't feel like doing it, is the fact that I have a baby on the way. Like that is like it fucking energizes me, and I'm just like, man, I got to get this shit done. I got so much stuff to do because I got a little person to take care of. You know what I mean? So it's like one of the driving factors for me. I am at my best when I'm doing shit for others. But if it's for myself, then I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, guys.
Fuck me.
Y'all need to hit that like button. Y'all are mean. Hit the like button. Damn. Satsu, I get no love on this on this program. They don't like me until it's over with them. Then they're like, oh, maybe I like him. I'm sexy. I'm sexy, y'all. I'm sexy, and I know it. Hit the like button and share Satsu stuff, guys. Satsu is, I've actually talked with many creators about this. We all agree you are far, far too undersubbed.
That's why Satsu too undersubbed.
And it's true, but yeah, you are way undersubbed, and hopefully that will change itself with like the cooking channel, guys. If you don't watch his cooking channel, you really should. And you should check out the gaming channel, which will be on tonight after Lords of the Night. We're finishing up Borderlands.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and knock this DLC out.
Are we doing anything after that? Because I don't think the DLC, unless we do some of the side stuff, is going to take that long.
Outside of, I don't know, like World War Z or something, because we kind of played through most of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I figured we could start another series for 7 days.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome. We haven't played that in a while. I miss 7 Days to Die, y'all. And I think that's probably our funniest series as well. Okay, take that back. Far Cry 5 was by far our funniest series. Our most fun series is 7 Days.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun on 7 Days for sure.
Zombie Teddy says you get 200 people watching you at 2 a.m. most mornings. How's that no love? Because nobody hits the like button. And I got fragile feelings, y'all. That doesn't go with what we talked about earlier, does it? Huh. You guys figure out. You guys figure out how that works.
Some continuity errors there.
That's all right. That's all right. By the way, guys, somebody asked earlier about Infinity War Endgame. If you've seen it, shut up. I will have my mods. If you see anybody spoiling that, you shut them up. I'm hopefully going to see it tomorrow, y'all. Scribe's probably
I don't know
there.
when I'll be able to go see it.
Scribe will be there soon, and he'll be chomping at the bit to be able to talk about it. Give Satsu money to go see Endgame, y'all. Mr. Monopoly, am I late? Yes, you are. Yeah, thank you, Eve. Says I will bop if you spoil. That's right. We don't do that around here. Go to some assholes some other asshole stream to do that.
Some other, yeah, but to say you might want to specify there.
Oh, Skya. I don't know how you say that.
Swishy, hey baby.
I'm reading that all kinds of wrong. Soria. Fuck. You know what? I found my glasses. Lady Monkey is rearranging the living room down here, and in doing so, she actually came across my glasses. So I have them. I just still don't put them on. But
could be.
Soria said I saw it yesterday for free. That's the best way to see anything. But apparently on Rakita Law. What? Oh, did somebody spoil it over there? Fucking dicks. Rakita, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Duck Dog, thank you for the donation over on Streamlabs. Buy drugs with it. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Somebody was asking me, they're like, I do you need anything for your room down there? I want to get you something for your birthday. I'm like, I really don't. And they're like, what else do you need? I'm like, nothing. I don't need a lot in life.
I need ramen. Give me ramen.
Chaos says, apparently on Rakita Law stream, some guy super chatted and spoiled it for Polly. This is the rule, guys. Even if you super chat that shit, we will bop you for it, which will make it and you go away. And I'm sorry that the guys. And look, I don't care about spoilers myself. I've talked about that many times. I'll still see it even if I know how it ends. Way back when The Force Awakens came out, I thought, don't spoil it. I was like, what happens in I was actually looking that shit up before I ever saw it. So I knew what happened, but I wanted to watch it. A good movie's a good movie to me, whether I know it's going to happen or not. However, I'm weird like that. So don't spoil it for anyone else. Don't be a dick. But anyway, yeah, Rakita has a lot of fans that have come over from the old IBS crew. And how can I say this nicely? A lot of them are dickholes. There we go. They can get you a better connection. Greg, no, I have the best connection that is available in my area. I really, really, really wish AT&T could get something else out here. I bug them about every 3 months. It's about time for me to do it again, actually. So I will. I'll probably be fucking with them here soon. But yeah, I have the best I can get. Damn it. Hi, Squishy.
Yeah, you probably can't now.
I forgot to yell hi, Squishy. Hi, Squishy. For those
Monkey
you don't know,
hello, Squishy.
That is Squishy is Satsu's betrothed. No, actually,
that's my wife.
That's his wife. She got the squeetus all up inside her. She's gonna be squishing that out soon. Which is a wonderful thing.
Guess what? I'm about to turn the camera on real quick.
I'm gonna present.
Look what showed up.
Oh, your ramen.
It's happening, guys.
Now, wait a minute. Are there individual packages in there?
Yeah, there's 5 of them. I'm not eating them all at once.
I was like, that's a big ass bag of ramen, man.
The Squishy's belly.
Oh, look at the belly. You got the bump.
Yeah, they're here. And it's I don't know when I'm gonna do it, but it's probably gonna be live. Like it's most likely going to be live. I thought about doing a separate video, but I don't want to cheat. I don't want to be like, yeah, I handled it like a G and be able to edit it and shit. I want y'all to see the full experience. Now this is just the first one. There's one that's twice as hot as this, and if I survive this, then I'll do the next level. What'd you say, babe? No, it's not safe for you to eat while you're pregnant. I'm sure it's not.
No, you can't eat that stuff.
I know you eat kind of spicy, but this is like next level. Like we have to wait until you.
It's only 3 months. You'll be fine.
Calling our baby a bit. You think you're getting kicked now?
Okay, I only got. I have 2 super chats over here. Before I get to the super chats, Maniac Man says Satsu is one good-looking mofo. I've told him that. He don't listen to me. He's also got a nice badonkadonk.
Oh, Jesus.
Circus Zero says, spoiler, blank happens. By the way, your birthday money, better late than never. Thank you so much. And that's funny. And Citron says, saving to fix computer, please tell me that you'll have open server nights again. Anything especially new in 7 Days to Die? New updates or shit? Do you think that some seats will be open on Tuesday? Also, Satsu's Streamlabs has been requested. Nuts, we throw those in again, please.
Necrosol donated. Outpaying bills and submitting applications. Here's a little I have left. Thank you, Necrosol. I appreciate it. Also, guys, I tell Randy this all the time because Randy is one of my top donators or whatever. And often his donations come with, yep, that's the last of my money. Here you go. And I'm just like, do not give me the last of your money.
Yeah.
Like, always take care of yourself first. Always. I mean, and most people are generally responsible and they give you what they can. And I am greatly appreciative of that. But if you're like, we ain't gonna eat for a week, but here you go, buddy. And I'm like, no, stop. Don't.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Don't give us the last of your money. Take care of yourself first. Give if you can.
Yes, please.
RJ says, what's worse than a crazy mother-in-law? I have no idea. I have a very nice mother-in-law. But I want to answer these questions for Citron. Who, let's see. The first one was, are we going to do open server nights again? We have the server's open. I think they do it now on Wednesdays and Thursdays. You have to talk to Random American. He's running it for me. Will it be on stream? Probably not. We talked about this last night.
Sorry, that was my phone.
What's that? Oh.
Yeah, I set an alarm for noon.
Oh, gotcha. Let's see. Anything especially new in 7 Days to Die? No. As far as I know, there's no updates from when we played last time.
Yeah, I don't think so.
We just have that Jones going to play again. Do you think that some seats will be open on Tuesdays? I'm not sure why they're not playing on Tuesday. Oh, there's Random. Yeah, Wednesdays and Thursdays. So you would have to talk to him because honestly, Random is running the whole thing. And again, I want to thank Random for doing that. Random, you're an awesome Random American. You're the kind of a Random American we need. So yeah, I don't know what's with their timing. They've done all of that. We used to do it Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays just because those were the nights we weren't streaming, or on Wednesdays because we were, but yeah. So I don't know, bud, and I'm sorry. And the other thing was your Streamlabs, which we've got out there. This is I'm the unprofessional monkey music. Guys, we're not even up to 100 likes yet. What the fuck? Why y'all? Okay, we got to stop and talk for a second. Why y'all like Scribe and Satsu more than me? You're hurting my feelings.
Well, they have to be nice to me because if they don't, it's racist. And Scribe,
I'm a cripple.
Scribe's really good at throwing fake tantrums, so
he really is. Seats on, thank you. Sorry, seats on Tuesday, Men Avengers. Oh, yeah, I'm sure that. It depends on where you live, but yeah, Tuesdays are probably the best or one of the better days to go. If you don't have your tickets already for this weekend, you're probably fucked in big cities. Luckily, I live in a shithole little town, so hopefully we'll be able to go tomorrow.
Maddie, thank you for the itty bitty. The itty bit fun. May the baby be happy, healthy, and not too much trouble. The not too much trouble thing, I don't know if that's avoidable because it is hard squishy.
Joy of Sorrow says this is a good stream, but it's like riding a crooked elevator sometimes. You have no idea. Well, Joy, I don't know how often you listen to the whole thing. To anybody who doesn't listen to the whole thing, yeah, you that is an understatement, my friend. That it's one of the things that I really like about this stream. And Cass says, guess what? I get to see Prospero tonight. She's coming to hang. Oh, that's cool. Prospero, yeah, she hasn't been in our chat recently, guys, because she's on a kind of vacation. So, yeah. Circus says, I told you, damn it, monkey, YouTube keeps stealing my likes. Is it doing that thing again where if you like it, it takes it right back off?
Hello.
Sinatra.
What up?
Well, I had a black man on, so I thought I should have a racist too.
Oh, hey, that's me.
I'm just trying. I'm trying to even things out.
Oh, I'm the black man? Jeez.
Yeah.
So Squishy burst into the room and it's like, ha, I can eat it. I looked it up. I'm like, you really want to you really want some of this torture, huh?
Well, actually, they say like if they're at the end of their pregnancy and they like past their due date and things, eating spicy food can trigger labor. So tell her to be careful with that shit.
So can walking up and down stairs.
Well, I give her spicy foods now, but it's not that spicy.
Kryptonite says, I just started listening today. Oh, well, I hope you're enjoying it so far. Sex is another good one to trigger trigger that. I'm fairly certain, and I hope my child's not listening right now. I'm fairly certain my first child that sex is what triggered labor on that one. For all of you out there who are like, you can't have sex with a pregnant chick. Oh yeah, you can. And you're not going to get her pregnant.
It's actually encouraged.
Yeah. It's nice for everybody involved except for the baby who's like, what is that?
I'm like, earthquake!
Followed by a blizzard. Sinatra, what do you think about Biden jumping in? I mean, we all knew he was going to, but
it was just a matter of time. But he's gonna be just blown out by Trump.
Do you think he'll win the nomination?
Of course.
See, I don't think he's going to win it. I don't think intersectionality is going to let that happen. I think that's going to kill him and Biden, and probably Beto too.
If he don't start talking about policy soon, like if he keeps his crosshairs directly on Trump, and it's just like, I'm going to have an entire campaign bad mouthing Trump, then I don't think he's going to win, and he might not even make primaries doing that.
I apologize. On this show, I call him Beto. So I don't want to confuse people. I may have suggested that he might have a problem with cocaine. Or not. I haven't, I got to give this to Warren. She's saying some really dumb shit, but at least she's on policy right now.
Mm-hmm.
She has been banging the policy drum. Today she was, what was her one today? Military housing. And she might have a point on that one, that there's some problems with with military housing. A couple of years ago, they looked at it and they're like, holy shit, this stuff is all falling down and crappy. We don't have the money to fix it. So they farmed it out to private companies. They gave them guaranteed loans to go in and do it. And they're not being upheld like they should. And she said, look, hey, we need to fix this. All right, good for you, Elizabeth. But she, she's also had her dumb ones, free college and all that bullshit. But at least she's talking about policy.
Well, that's what it's going to come to. Like most of these people, what's going to happen is everybody's on this whole bash the people we don't like train. But the closer we get to, where it's time to actually make the decision, the more people are going to be like, okay, yes, that person bad. But what are you going to do? Like, that's like, what do you stand for? Because all I know is you don't like them. What the fuck do you have to offer? The people who actually pay attention are going to start asking those questions. So when they're up on stage and like it's getting to that point where it's crunch time, you can't go up there and be like, I don't like Trump, so vote for me. They're gonna be like, yeah, okay, we don't either, but what the fuck are you gonna do?
I don't know if you guys can see, I don't know if you guys can see what this little sign says. But this is apparently Beto's, the restaurant he owns, and it says Coke is back. Because of course it does. Thank you, Pumpkin Trucker. You can have Whoopi right up until the nurses say, get off her water just broke, speaking for a friend. Or can you? No, it says you can't. Yeah, you can. You can have sex up until the water breaks. When the water breaks, you have to stop because the doctor doesn't want that shit in his hands. Is it a problem if it gets up his nose? Oh, are we talking about Beto? Yeah, it is. That's why I'm having a hard time picking. Sorry, let's go back to what Satsu was talking about. Yes, you're right. This is like a crooked elevator. Anyway, that's why I think the debates are going to be important. Right now, we have 21 Democratic candidates. 21. That's a lot. What if she's a squirter? God damn it. God damn you. You just threw me off my thoughts. Oh, the debates come up in June, and that's when they, if not talk about policy, at least try to pin down where they're at. And it's going to make a lot of people go, well, he's just like this guy, or I don't even, this, unfortunately for people like Gabbard, they're going to be like, no, she's too normal. So yeah, that's going to start weeding out the field, and I figure by like November we'll know who the real candidates are. Foxy says military housing is a joke. Been there, sweetheart. The military housing I used to live in Virginia Beach was torn down because it was sinking.
Like just being eaten by the dirt.
Yeah, Virginia Beach is a swamp, dude, right? So when you build stuff there, you have to build in very specific ways. Well, the housing they built.
You're going to love this. Trust me.
Damn.
That was my Streamlabs going off.
Well, go ahead and read it real quick.
I didn't even have it pulled up.
Oh,
That was my OBS. Hold on.
This is our waiting for Sinatra time. If you'd like to wait for Sinatra, send him some money.
Mischief Fly Inanimate for 2 says some Jew gold for my favorite anti-Semite. Thank you.
Jesus. Okay, so the housing we lived in, right? The walls between them were basically firewalls, right, between each unit. Well, those walls were sinking into the swamp and causing the floors to crack in between them.
Wow.
So yeah, they ended up just tearing the whole fucking thing down. Michael, thank you so much. What? I get to see Monkey live. What did I have to do to deserve this? I don't know, Michael. But whatever you did, do it again. Many arming housing has mold falling down, etc. Yeah, Foxy, I was reading the story about it, and like I said, for once, I actually agree with Warren. If everything I read was true, and this was coming from the Military Times, not some leftist bullshit article. Maddie says, "Monkey, check your DMs." No, not at the moment. Not at the moment. And let's see. Thank you, Diesel Dave. Today is round 2 of the draft. The boys finally get to make a pick. Is that why everybody's talking about the NFL draft? Oh yeah, it is usually right around my birthday. I forgot about that. Yeah, I haven't watched anything about the draft. I love my football, and I used to watch the draft like it was a Super Bowl, man. Me and my brother would sit down with chips and dip and just sit there and watch the whole damn thing. But now it's like, I don't care. They've I'm gonna give them trouble right here. They've gayed up the sport so much that it's hard for me to even watch. And the problem is they keep trying to make it so safe, and the more safe they try to make it, the worse they do. Because here's the thing: when you tell a guy, look, it's perfectly safe to wear this helmet and jam it into somebody else's, they're going to do that, and that's never going to be safe. Go back to the leather helmets, get rid of all those pads, and you'll see these guys being a lot more careful, because that shit hurts. American football is way too stop-start for me. Too many ad breaks. I actually had a friend who went and I've never been to an NFL game, but a friend who went and saw the Lions playing Pittsburgh because he's a big Pittsburgh fan. And he's like, yeah, if you think it's bad on TV, try sitting there in the stadium. Because every time there's an ad break, the game just stops and there's nothing going on.
Yeah.
Diesel Dave says
football live isn't exactly super fun.
Yeah,
Diesel Dave says I didn't watch. Hang on one second. Let me get this super chat. I didn't watch day one. No dog in the fight. I understand. Go ahead, Satsu.
Yeah, I've been to a couple live sporting events, and they are boring as fuck. Like, even if things are particularly exciting.
I love watching baseball live, especially if you go to a minor league team, because a minor league team, I mean, it's fun. They have like they'll do things like shoot shirts into the audience, or where the one we went to, they would actually shoot sub sandwiches into the audience. It was great.
Oh yeah, like anything college level or below, those are usually entered because they find stuff to do in those break times. But like
the NFL is just like, fuck you guys. You paid $400 to be here. Oh man,
you knew what you were signing up for.
Sinatra, we kind of talked about the argument you're having with Losar over on the Twitter machine.
Yeah, and Losar and the Equalizer are just giant fucking morons.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I corrected the Equalizer, socio Equalizer. She said cop haters and neo-Nazis both are equally bad. So I corrected him and I said cop killers, because that's what the problem is. Cop killers, not cop haters. And then they're like, well, where are the cop killers? They weren't at Charlottesville.
Just because they weren't at Charlottesville. Well, you don't know they weren't at Charlottesville. They just didn't kill any cops there.
True. Right.
But that doesn't mean they don't exist. We know they exist.
Well, that's what I said. I was like, are you pretending that cop killers don't exist? And they're like, no, they just weren't at Charlottesville.
For those of you who don't follow Twitter or aren't on that, reading that thread, this all goes back to what Trump said. That's where this all fucking started. Chicago Mike, thank you. Best place to watch baseball game, Wrigley Field. Look, I loved being at Wrigley, and I had a lot of fun there, but that was more personal love of the Cubbies than how fun the game is. Because if you've ever, we used to go watch the Tides. They were the Tidewater Tides at the time. I know they've changed their name since, but those games were so fun. My brother actually won a grocery bag of cereal one time. It was just what they were giving out. They have lots of giveaways and stuff. It's a lot of fun.
You know what though? I have to say, back in the day when my little sister used to dance for the Cavs during the halftime shows or whatever, those games were actually fun. Like when I knew my sister was performing, or my older brother used to dance for them too. And they were doing like the halftime shows or whatever, because the Cavs games were pretty awesome. Because they would like give you shit based on like the outcome of the game, and there was all kinds of stuff that would go on. It was they kept it entertaining, in between. Even if you had like fucking, you were up in the clouds watching it, it still was, relatively entertaining.
Yeah, this is what Joya Sorrows was talking about earlier with the way this show goes. We're having two conversations here. Sorry, guys. And I agree with you. I've never been to a basketball game, but my daughter was the head cheerleader when she was in high school. I didn't give a fuck about the game I was watching, but my daughter being in it was what was cool. But back to the other story. Where was that? Anthony Vogel said the media did a damn fine job gaslighting the normies about what Trump said. And you know what the fucked up part? You're right. You're absolutely right. The media made this a big story again. The media is why Robert E. Lee is trending in my fucking Twitter. And it's all because they're carrying water for Joe Biden. He's the one that brought it up. And they're like, yeah, let's make what Biden said a thing again. Pumpkin Trucker, thank you. 2 cops did die in Charlottesville. Copter crash. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah, the media has kicked this all up again. It's like Trump wasn't. He said there were bad people there, but he didn't specifically say Nazis. Like, well, do you think Nazis are good people? I mean, that's the only thing I can take away from you guys going, he didn't say Nazis when he said bad people, is that you don't think they're bad. The fuck are you talking about? Oh, he wasn't specific enough is what you actually mean. He still fucking said it. He wasn't saying that oh fuck, I hate these people. I fucking hate them.
They're disingenuous and it's exhausting.
Tom says he specifically said neo-Nazis. Yes, that was 2 days later though. Okay, for those of you who don't know the timeline. President Trump, I think it was on the Friday, maybe it was the Thursday, I can't remember exactly. Whenever it happened, he said his quote was something to effect that there were bad people on both sides or something like that. And then it was 2 days later he gave the speech most people talk about, where he specifically said neo-Nazis, white supremacists, and racists were bad. But they're very upset because in the first time he said it, he didn't mention those people. He just said bad people. Like, but the only thing you can take from that is you don't think neo-Nazis are bad people.
Dude, Twitter has been an absolute pit on my end for the last day because I got into an argument with the trans community.
Oh, dear God.
Yeah, I was like, pronouns in the bio is a meme, and that there's no evidence to support that transitioning is the best thing to do for gender dysphoria.
No, there's not, actually.
They just lost their mind.
You're lucky you haven't been banned from Twitter for that.
I know. Well, I kind of have to watch my P's and Q's with what I say.
You and me both, man.
And I've asked at least 3 of them. I was like, can you point one case where a person was killed just because they were trans, and not one of them can do it.
Well, that's oh god, these statistics can be whatever you want them to be.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Sure. What I mean by that is if a trans person is shot, but they were shot because they're in a gang, they still count that dead trans person. And look, there's has anybody ever been killed because they're trans? Probably. Do I know of a specific case? I don't know. I can't name one. We do have, you know what? That was a good story. Hang on. Who was that guy who was just killed? They just put a dude to death. It was a dude who was involved with the dragon killing of that black guy, and I forget his name too. But it made me happy. There's certain people. Look, I don't want most people to die, but there's times when it's like, yeah, I'm glad that shit had died. Especially in this case, because I mean, they grabbed a black guy, dragged him behind their truck until he was dead, and this motherfucker got to live like 20 years longer. Fuck that guy, John King. Thank you, Tom Leach. I wonder what a trans gang looks like. Watch Tu Wong Fu. I still miss transvestites. They're no longer around. You're not even allowed to say the word. They were fun. I mean,
well, erasing the existence of other groups and people is a core value of the morally superior.
Mm.
Now, if that statement didn't make any sense to you, then you're probably sane. So.
Oh, dear God. I love Marina Sirtis, but what did she just say? All right. The culture of male chauvinism in the gaming industry is abhorrent. You have to remember a lot of these guys were nerds who never got a date in high school.
Sorry about that. I had a phone call come in. Chaos Eve actually wanted to talk to me about that. I don't know what she disagrees with me about on that subject, though.
Oh, you should have her on sometime and argue with her.
Well, if I didn't have a strike, I would love to.
You have a
My
strike
first
right now?
ever copyright strike.
How the fuck do you have a strike?
It was a claim that within 3 minutes turned into a strike from an old clip of Fox News.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's
it was like
odd.
a 2 or 3 month old clip.
And it was from Fox, or was it from like a music person? Because that's what
it
usually
said manually. Let me pull it up. Hold on.
We will get into what Marina Sirtis said here, but we'll come back to that because God damn it, lady, you were so cute as Troy. I may have touched myself thinking about you once. I'm not saying I did. I'm not saying I didn't.
It said that they were legally required to take down a video. Video taken down, blah, blah, blah. We are legally. It said manually claimed somewhere.
It should say in the bottom at the middle on the claim.
It just says claim at Fox News.
Oh, that's the part I was actually wondering about.
It doesn't give me the it doesn't even give me the option to counterclaim it.
Jesus.
Yeah, so I sent a message, or I sent an email off to Fox, and I put a counter notification in, but I don't know what's happening with that.
Chaos says, Sinatra says specifically the zero evidence part. I actually agree with you on the pronouns part.
Well, there is no evidence to support that transitioning is the best way to handle dysphoria.
If you guys want to argue
for gender dysphoria, it's like the last thing on the list under a bunch of mental health specialists.
Cryptic, thank you. Manually is sexist. It has man in it. Yeah, no shit. YouTube, fix your shit.
It also
Hey,
has
Vince.
Ally in it, though.
True.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, I talked to YouTube creator support this morning, and they were like, we'll push the counter notification through. I was like, is there any way you can lift the streaming restriction? They're like, I'm gonna try. And then like 20 minutes later, she got back to me and she's like, there's nothing I can do. I was like, well, thanks for trying. I appreciate it.
It must be nice to be able to talk to them immediately.
Yeah,
Like, hey.
having the ability to chat with them has been very, very useful.
It was especially for you. If anybody needed it, it was you. Hi Weibo. I had KFC last night. She's getting it right now. Okay, I want to get into this tweet that Marina Sirtis put out. The culture of male chauvinism in the gaming industry is abhorrent. You have to remember a lot of these guys were nerds who never got a date in high school. Be like me when the haters pounce. Ignore them. Water off a duck's back. She was answering a tweet that asked her any words of encouragement for women in the game industry.
Stop believing other women in the game industry.
Yeah, there you go. No, it's because these were good. Oh God, these were nerds who never got a date in high school.
Have a safe flight, Pat.
Show me the evidence that's what this is. That's what this is. Seriously, everybody I knew in high school played games. The nerds, the not nerds, everyone. I'm so tired of this bullshit. Look, yeah, you know what, Marina, I will give you that. Ignore them. That's great. But this idea that there's a horrible pattern of male chauvinism in gaming, go fuck yourself. There's no evidence for that. Cryptic, thank you.
From?
What's that?
Who was that tweet from?
Marina Sirtis. She used to play Counselor Troy on The Next Generation, Star Trek.
Idea.
Cryptic, thank you so much. That's a fat duck. Not Marina.
You know what's funny about that?
Yeah.
The fact that she is openly saying right now that, you know, those nerds who used to play games back then couldn't get a date or whatever. Back then, she was probably one of those people, one of those women amongst other women who had no interest in video games whatsoever and was shit talking anybody who enjoyed them, probably calling them, basement dwelling neckbeards who do nothing with their lives or whatever. And now they've infiltrated this gaming thing because it's popular and it's profitable or whatever. And they're saying like, oh, well, we want to be a part of this community. But even now, you're still calling those pathetic neckbeards who do nothing but who couldn't get a date. You're still shit talking them while engaging in the culture that they cultivated and made, brought to this point, essentially.
Yeah, it's not.
Which is funny. It's hilarious.
They
hold that thought, Sinatra. Lamented Guide, thank you. Hey, what did I miss? So much. Luckily, you can watch it again. Michael, thank you so much. Gamer Nerd who did date in high school. Go ahead, Sinatra. I'm sorry.
These people, they just come into an industry and try to completely change it. Yeah. And anyone who disagrees with them is a neckbeard who doesn't get laid. Who was it? Fuck. I was just listening to it earlier. I think it was some movie reviewer who said, it was the guy who did Batman v Superman. He's like, if you can't accept that Batman kills people, then you just need to get fucking laid, you loser. And I was like, whoa, dude, that's like Batman's thing is to not kill.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. It is funny to me that she's talking about nerds when she's famous for Star Trek. I love Trek, but come on. Cryptic says, man, Troy got fat after the 5th season of TNG. She was thick. She won't fat, man. You need to hang out with Jack. You guys like those skinny Asians. Stop it.
Isn't it also funny that these are the same people that'll tell you, just go make your own, make your own social media, make your own system, make your own internet, but we're going to take over the stuff you helped create.
Well, this is a slightly different enterprise. I read a story the other day about how women are finally getting into like owning auto businesses and there's a CEO of some company some auto company that's a woman now. And they talked about how it's a lot different than when they got into it, when like men would have calendars with naked women in them. I'm like, so yeah, what you're saying is you came in, changed it, and made it so it's not what it was. Yeah, because that's what women do. When you women, this is the women bashing part. Sorry, women ruin everything. We want to be like the men. We want to be like the men, and then you come in and you make it all about how you want it, instead of it being how guys would do it or how guys want it. I'm like, no, we're women. We can't have it that way. We can't have it that way. Look, there were boobies on the wall. That has nothing to do with fixing a carburetor.
We require special equality.
Exactly. Lamented Guy, thank you. Funny how these SJWs also bitch they can't get any. Well, yeah, Marina can, probably because she's a famous chick who still actually looks pretty good.
Well, Charlize Theron can't, and she's been bitching about it constantly.
I'll do it. I'll take one for the team on that one. But yeah, they have too high standards for what they are. That's all it is. But yeah, they come into an industry or a place and they change it to make it all about the women's. That's not a good thing. We've talked about this so often. You're killing men. You're getting rid of men to the point where you actually have psychologists talking about how being a man is a fucking disorder. Toxic masculinity is a disorder. And then you read it, it's like, that's not toxic. Most of what you just said is just being a man, you stupid bitch. We want this man
like, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Toxic masculinity. Suck my balls. I do think it's great that they talk about how men need to express their emotions more, unless that emotion is anger.
And then when we do express our emotions more, we're any one of several things.
Oh, yeah. Look at that pussy crying.
Yep.
Ooh. Sinatra, I don't know if I told you, if you were around or in the chat when I had put up that post or whatever. But there was a dude on Facebook who said that based on his experience on the internet, he's come to the conclusion that men are much more sensitive than women. And I'm just like, isn't it convenient how that works? Males are toxic. They're crazy, emotionless machines grown up to hate and disrespect women and treat people like shit, and are raised to be emotionless creatures, right? But as soon as you get into an argument with one, the argument is how fragile and weak they are.
Yeah, toxic masculinity and fragile masculinity are like their top talking points.
Oh, yeah, and I'm like, those are terms created by the same people who say that men are emotionless, powerful machines of destruction, and all they do is hate and fucking fight and all that shit. But the moment, the instant, and then they'll advocate like men need to be more sensitive. You need to express yourselves more. You need to be able to express your emotions. You're like, well, my emotions are telling me that you're wrong, and they're like, oh, what a fucking pussy. You're just a little bitch. Maybe you need to man up. All these man babies, and I'm like, how do you push over those narratives at once?
Speaking of that, I want to address something in chat, but before I do, thank you, Pumpkin Trucker. I'll take the tar pit that killed Yar over Troy. Look, I gotta fuck this shit out of Troy. Aether Toast says, Monkey, look who's being hypocritical here. You argued against the points you are making when it comes to Mortal Kombat. No, I didn't. John Woodruff, thank you. It's because you have a monkey butt. You leave my monkey butt alone. What I was saying with Mortal Kombat is to me, the only thing that matters is gameplay. The same arguments that is like, well, she can't be naked, and people going, well, that doesn't affect the gameplay. Her being dressed doesn't affect the gameplay. Yes, I understand some SJWs came in and changed your game, but if the game is still played the same, if all of it is the same fun that it was in 10, what's the problem? Were you really just playing it because she was naked? Wait for somebody to mod it and she'll be naked for you again. I just think it was overblown. I even said I understood why people were upset. I just think it was overblown. There you go. It affects the
Everything I've heard
enjoyability.
about Mortal Kombat 11 has been it's a pay to win. Those are
Yeah,
all
that's
negative things
the
I've
thing.
heard. Nothing
That's the thing.
racial, nothing about, Jax did this, so Satsu can be a free man.
Yeah.
It's all this retarded shit. And if you look at the reviews, if you actually go look at the reviews, they're all talking about how it's a pay to win game.
Well, not specifically pay to win. They're talking about how expensive the microtransactions are, because anything that you buy in that game that affects your stats at all that shit is banned online. So the issue right now is the fact that they have so much fucking DLC, and they basically put loot, because there was an interview that they did where he explicitly said there are no loot crates in this game. Period. We don't want that. We know how upset people got about it. And what that meant was they turned the crypt into a kind of covert loot crating system where you go in, and instead of you going to the crypt like Mortal Kombat used to be, going to a specific place to unlock a specific item with points you earn, it's all just random shit. And you'll never know what you're going to get. And even when you do know what you're going to get, sometimes you won't. So they're like, there's no loot crates, but there is. And if you want to get everything in the game, you have to spend about $6,000 to do so. But pay to win isn't really the issue, because they didn't really do that. Like, pay to win is a very specific thing.
They do, in that they tell you. There was a lot of people were quoting this online. Is that if you want the best gear in the game, yes, you can get it through the game, but it's going to take you like every day. You're going to have to go through the hardest towers and then do some of the lowest towers, and it's going to be a horrible grind. But if you buy their not loot crates, you can get really good stuff that'll make that better for you. So
yeah, I'm looking at a couple of the reviews now. It says WB and NRS needed to be reminded that consoles aren't smartphones. Do they take us for fools? Good graphics, great story too. Hard grind at 2 monetized, reminds me of Shadow Middle Earth. Fatality, it's a game for $60, or F2P. I'm not sure what that is.
Free to play.
Free to play. Yeah. It's either way.
Yeah.
Well, most of the console games are turning into basically mobile games.
God, I hate that. I fucking hate that. Cryptic, thank you. I miss Almost Naked MK. It was Mortal Kombat. Jesus fuck.
It's already discounted 15% in some places. Like, the game came out 2 days ago.
Yeah, I just saw an article that was like, damn, that was fast.
Well, you can't have a premium game like that and then turn around and tell people you have to pay a shit ton more if you actually want to enjoy it.
Well, you can, and that's the issue.
Well, you can, but people aren't going to take it well.
Yeah.
And to me, guys, that is a much bigger issue than whether or not you can see some cleavage.
Yeah. There's arguably much more important things to worry about than
because you know what, I was looking at some of the stuff for what's coming up with Borderlands 3, and I'm getting nervous. They're going to have fucking loot crates.
Which would defeat the whole purpose of a looter shooter. Like that literally destroys the entire concept of why people play looter shooters.
Now, they're supposed to have a big announcement coming out. I think it's in 4 days, a big reveal of more game footage and all that. But Monkey, stop arguing against cleavage. Look, I like cleavage. I do. But the simple fact is I just don't think it's that important when it comes to games and stuff. I like it in the game. I don't care if it's not in the game. I've never been one of those people who's gone out and gotten a mod so I can see a character naked or something, because it's pixels on my screen, and real porn is so easy to access. Aren't loot crates part of gambling? Yeah, they are gambling. They're absolutely gambling.
Well, have you
I'm looking at
have you guys seen the shit that's going on with Sony and their censorship?
No.
Well, Sony has a big thing going on right now where it's at this point, it's kind of just mainly like Japanese games or whatever. But they're taking a huge stance on censorship. So like Dead or Alive, any of those kind of smaller indie Japanese games where things can get a little weird, fucking Senran Kagura or whatever. They are making it to where developers literally have to custom make a specific version for Sony that is censored before it gets released. And they're saying like, we are putting our foot down. We don't want anything, whatever. We don't care if it's rated mature or M for mature or whatever. We don't want people to see this stuff. So they're going the extra mile to the point to where some games have just been completely canceled when it came to the PlayStation version. They're like, no, we won't put it on our system because we don't want people to see that stuff. And those games, arguably, people do actually play them. Like a good 50%, it's probably 50-50. They probably do like the game, but come on, at least 60% of it is just like, yeah, there's anime titties and shit all over the place. Because that's kind of what it is. Because the game Senran Kagura that I was talking about, like as you fight, it's a very in-depth fighting game. It's almost kind of like Dynasty Warriors or whatever, where like all the characters have these combos or whatever. There's like fucking 40 of them. And like the battle system is like super good. But one of the gimmicks in the game is the more you beat the shit out of the chick you're fighting, the more clothes they lose.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so they like censored it.
Real quick, Lamented Guy, thank you so much. I don't like how they made the broads look like men. And I get not liking it. Like I said, I understand. It wouldn't be a deal breaker for me.
I'm looking at the Metacritic right now. There are 0 bad critic scores and over 300 bad user scores. The critic score is 83 and the user score is 2.7.
This is for Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah.
I wonder what the Steam score looks like for it.
Let me pull it up here.
I got
Did
it.
it get review bombed?
It may have. It's mixed reviews.
Yeah. It sounded like it might have got review bombed.
Well, Steam said that they're taking a stand against review bombing.
Yeah,
and the
media hasn't jumped on it yet, so I guess we'll see.
Yeah, mixed reviews. Not recommended.
Great game ruined by incompetent, greedy goblin devs. Yeah. Like I said, I think the bigger problem is those loot crate things they have, how they have those working out. I don't mind a grind. I really don't. But it shouldn't be a grind that makes me not want to play your game.
Right.
It needs to be like, if I have to grind because I might get that good weapon, shit, I don't know how many times I killed the warrior in I don't know why I want to call it Subnautica. I know that's not it. In Borderlands 2. I've killed that fucking thing probably 30 times. And I don't even know what drops of it. I just enjoy it's like, oh, cool, new stuff. That's how you make it fun. You don't, you got to go and climb all of these towers 40 times, beating all of these characters over and over again. By day 4, you're just like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, every negative review I see has something to mention monetization and shit like that.
Yeah.
Well, one of the biggest things with games as a service and this kind of really grindy games that they're putting out is all the developers back in the day, they used to release games with the mindset that you own other games. But now everybody's trying to put out games to where they're like, they're basically setting it up to where they're like, this needs to be the only game you play, period. And if you want to succeed, you want to get all the shit, fuck anything else. You need to play exclusively this. And they craft their games to make you do that. They have all these incentives to make you come back, these timed exclusives that only work at certain times that you can use, these little timers or whatever for the boxes. Elder Scrolls Blades. Did you guys hear about the phone one?
No.
Yeah, that game is doing horribly right now. Elder Scrolls Blades finally came out. And the way their loot crate system works is you get a set of allotted boxes. Let's just say you get 5 silver crates or whatever. It'll take a silver crate 3 hours for you to open it, which is fine. You got, let's just say you got 5 silver crates, 3 hours to open. Okay, 3 hours, you got 5 crates to open. No, they stack on top of each other, and there's 3 hours for the first crate that's on the top. Once that 3 hours goes up, you have to log in and open it, or else it'll just sit there until you open it. And then when you open it, the next 3 hours for the next one will start. And I'm just like, are you fucking serious? This is an Elder Scrolls game? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at the negative reviews. There's actually 2,000 positive reviews, 2,500 negative. And yeah, almost all of them, they talk about nobody's talking about how horrible the costumes are. I mean, a few people have mentioned it here and there, but their big thing. Look, especially with PC gamers, I don't know how it is for consoles because I haven't played them in so long, but PC gamers, we're used to free shit. And that's not to say we shouldn't have to pay for some, but the idea that, look, you need to go in here and buy 500 things before you get an armament that's going to make you decent in the game. Fuck that. Nope, that's not PC gaming. That's handheld game. That's phone gaming, for fuck's sake. Mm-hmm. Oh man. Okay, what else is going on in the news today? Pentagon to expand military role at the southern border. Good. Oh, what did you think of the border incident down there, Sinatra?
What?
Where the U.S. soldiers were disarmed at the southern border by Mexicans?
I had no idea about this. What?
Oh wow, yeah, this was a pretty big story. A couple of our soldiers were disarmed at the border by Mexican. I don't know if they were police or Mexican military, because they said we were on their property. We were past our wall, but we were still in U.S. territory. And the soldiers, they gave up the guns and everything. They're like, all right, no, let's not have an international incident over this. But yeah, Trump's like, that is not going to happen again. They're sending more troops down to the border because of it. Yeah, it was we're going to start a fucking war with Mexico. This is Kyle said they should have shot those Mexicans. Technically, they should have, yeah. The Mexicans were on our side of the border trying to disarm our soldiers. That's I mean, it could have arrested them for it, but I mean, if it came to an armed standoff, what do you think would have happened?
I think the Mexicans would have backed down for sure.
I think it's getting scary down at the border, man. I think it's getting scary down there to the point where we're gonna. They know we'd steamroll them, right? They know that in reality, but in practice, when you're trying to show off to your people and your neighbors, you don't want to come off looking like a bitch. Diesel Dave, thank you. That'd be a short war. Yeah. Can't believe you didn't hear about this, Sinatra.
I know, right? Damn, I should have heard about that.
That was big news there for a couple of days.
That's literally insane.
Yeah.
Why the hell would we not stick up for ourselves?
Specifically to avoid an incident.
God, so disappointing. Like, we're fucking America, and we're not even allowed to stick up for ourselves on our own border. What if someone saw that and they're like, you know what? If they're not going to do anything when these Mexicans invade, why don't we just go invade? They're not going to do shit.
Chuck E. Cheese says the U.S. soldiers crossed the border. They're lucky they didn't go to a Mexican. No, we were still on our side of the border. We were just past our wall. The wall is not.
Yeah, there was a misunderstanding, wasn't it? Like there was like confusion, which is why the whole thing took place.
Yeah, the wall is not actually on the border. It's in our territory, and then there's a little bit of space that's ours on the other side of it. And
no, that's racism, monkey.
What's that?
That's racism.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I can't remember if it was Trump or somebody from the Pentagon, but they said next time this will not happen. We will not give our guns up to Mexicans if this happens again.
I don't understand why we did in the first place. That just doesn't make sense to me.
I understand if they're trying to keep from having an international incident. I'm with you. They shouldn't have, but I do understand the thinking behind it. Like, we don't want to have to kill these people. But the part that worries me, Sinatra, is there's a video that came out, I think it was 2 days after this happened, with armed Mexicans walking a woman to one of our fences and helping her and her son climb under it. And there were 3 armed Mexicans who helped them do that. And then they came from a Jeep that had 2 more armed Mexicans in it. What happens when those guys meet up with our troops?
Well, they never would. They're like actively avoiding them, I assume.
Lamented Guide, didn't Alaric march into Rome unopposed? Did I say that name right? Alaric? I don't know. I don't know my Roman history very well. Mr. Monopoly says there was confusion, but there was no confusion that we were in the right space.
Yeah, we knew where I'm thinking the Americans knew where they were. But like I said, I know people get upset and they're just like, we're fucking America, but you don't just cause a national incident just because. Like there's a time and a place for certain things, and if you could avoid like that turning into a big thing, then you probably should. Like it's probably in your best interest.
Those guys meet up with our troops all the time. Those are the cartel narco terrorists, not our troops, man. They haven't even been down at the border long enough to be implicated that way. Now, if you're talking about border patrol, maybe.
I like to see what happens when those armed cartel guys meet up with one of those militia groups down there.
Oh God, that do you see that guy who got arrested for detaining Mexicans?
Yeah, didn't the border patrol ask for his help?
I that part I don't know. Satsu, what are you opening?
My business.
Making all kinds of noise on my show. That is my business. Shh. Just don't let it happen.
Just don't let it.
Shelly wants to know why you didn't tell her you were coming on the show, Sinatra.
Because I didn't think about it.
There you go.
Same way you forgot my coffee this morning.
Uh-oh. You can't do that. Over on the Washington Post, the top headline is Joe Biden was in charge of the Anita Hill hearing. Even he says it wasn't fair. Told you that's going to come up. That's going to bite him in the ass. You weren't hashtag me too enough, Joe. What's wrong with you, Joe?
How long are they going to keep bringing up Anita fucking Hill?
Oh, as much as they can, man. She's their patron saint, the patron saint of sexual harassment.
Yeah. Another one. It's like Christine Blasey Ford original.
Oh yeah, it's exactly who she is. And that's why they love her, because like I said, she's their patron saint, man. She, and I mentioned this before you got on the show, she changed what sexual harassment is in America.
Yeah.
It went from being actually sexual harassment to being you said something that is kind of sexual and I don't like it. Guys, I just went over to the hashtag and I don't see half naked women. What's going on? Speaking of the hashtag, let's jump over there real quick. Hashtag MITAM. So if you want to send me something I may or may not pay attention to, throw it over there. This one I love just because it was funny. Coachella herpes spike. Record 250 cases reported per day near festival.
Nice. As if I needed another reason not to go to a fucking music festival.
Look at these people, man. They look like dirty hippies. Why would you put your dick in anything that looks like she's a hoe? She's gonna have the herpaderp.
Why would you put your dick in anything at a music festival?
Well, I mean, you're horny. I understand being horny. I do. I've been there, guys. But you don't want blisters for the rest of your life. I mean, maybe you do. Maybe you want to be ribbed for her pleasure, but Jesus fuck, man. Yeah, so let's see. Coachella is famous for its performances, but it's getting some notoriety because of a record-setting surge in herpes. Herp alert. Oh my God. Herp alert, a website that diagnoses and treats herpes, says cases of the sexually transmitted disease skyrocketed in towns around the famed music festival. That includes Los Angeles and San Diego, where many concert goers live. 250 cases of the herpaderp every day. Michael, thank you so much. Now that some people could get potentially violent in Sri Lanka, they're Christians again. Almonds, consider yourself activated. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, before they were just Easter worshipers
Easter
when they were the
worshipers.
victims. But now
Now
that
they're Christians.
they're on the offensive, it's Christians as usual. Nick Monroe did a good thread where he actually went through and researched the fact that Christians are actually the most persecuted people.
Oh, I read that one. Yeah. I don't know if it was his I saw, but where they go through, somebody went through and showed the number of deaths per group or who caused those deaths. And it's amazing, man. It's amazing, but we don't talk about that.
Yeah, we're not allowed to talk about that.
I'm talking about that. That's a hate fact.
I think he went back to, I want to say 2013 and has like 40 attacks on Christians from 2014.
Yeah, Christians are horribly persecuted, but we don't talk about those attacks because how dare we? It was amazing when the thing happened at Christ Church. It's like there's Muslims that are attacked all the time. Yeah, usually by Muslims. Usually by Muslims. If you look at the number of bombings and stuff that have killed Muslims, a large majority of it, probably all of it, comes from Muslims, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. But Christ Church, yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, what is it? Over 300 people died in Sri Lanka.
Didn't they find out that the guy who did the Christchurch shooting spent a bunch of time over in Turkey and Israel?
I believe so, yeah.
He spent years over there, and they're still just like, oh, it's a white supremacist. Shut up.
You know what? Even if he was, fine. Let's for a moment say that's absolutely true. He killed, what, 59? 49, 59? I forget the exact number. More than 300 were killed in Sri Lanka for being Christians. And that's not talked about at all. And they were killed by Muslims. How many articles have you actually read where they mention Muslims did this? I saw one goddamn article for like the first 5 days after it happened where they mentioned an Islamic terrorist group. One. Yeah. Even when they knew for a fact it was them.
You're not allowed to mention that, though. You notice how the Notre Dame thing completely fell out of conversation?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Really
okay. People born after 1989 may need another measles. Oh, I forgot to give Juan. Fuck, why are you giving me names I can't say? Juan gave us that first herpaderp story. This one comes from Ramen Lewis. People born after 1989 may need another measles vaccination.
Monkey, check your Streamlabs.
Okay, check that in 1 second. Why didn't I get a fucking... I hate when that doesn't give me the notification. Guys, I'm going to throw the measles one in here because it only applies to some of you, so make sure you check that out. Streamlabs, there we go. Thank you, Tyrai. When I was deployed to Iraq, we were told that if fired upon, we had to call back to base to be allowed to return fire. We've become, look, if we're fired upon, we should be able to just fucking blast them. Sorry. That's you're declaring war on the U.S. if you fire on us. Fuck you. Oh man. Thank you, Lamented Guide. Journos. Some people did some things. Yeah. You know what? Oh God, let's bring that up for just a second because the media played a huge part in that. They kept trying to make it about how, well, she was talking about something else. That doesn't matter. She was being completely dismissive of almost 3,000 people dying because Muslims killed them. Even if she had said some people killed almost 3,000 people, at least that's better. At least you're acknowledging what the fuck happened. Some people did something. Like somebody forgot to turn off their cell phone in a fucking theater. Oh, and they're like, yeah, they're all attacking her and they're doing it. They're mean. Fuck that. Oh, dear Christ. This one comes to that. This was
Me. Like none
from
of this
Jack.
makes sense.
What's
Like,
that?
This stuff that they're pushing, this anti-Christian, anti-white shit that they're pushing,
Mhm.
all it's going to do is radicalize more people.
Mhm.
And then when
Yep.
there's another Christchurch, this time someone who knows what they're doing and knows how to shoot and does something and kills a few hundred people instead of just 50, they're going to go, well, the problem here is the guns.
Well, I'm cynical, and I've already said this numerous times. That's the goal. Like their
Yep.
tactic that's been for the past probably 10 years. And I'm sure Monkey will say it's been longer, but it's like me noticing it within my, my time frame of paying attention to politics. They say something that's not true and not provable, and they say it over and over until it happens. And then when it happens, they'll be like, "See, we told you that this was a thing all along." But they incited it. They set it up. So calling people Nazis, punching people you disagree with in the streets, assaulting anybody who has on a Make America Great Again hat. The narrative is those people are violent. The people we beat the shit out of because they wear a red hat, they're violent. And we can prove it because eventually they'll attack us back. And when they do, we'll be like, I told you they were violent all along.
Yeah. Look, they retaliated, those fuckers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that's how they do it. And it works.
You know,
it fucking works.
In this video I did about Antifa a couple days ago, they linked to an ADL article, and in the article, it said 100% of extremist violence in 2018 was right-wing violence.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Excuse me? Like, they just... And they lumped people in there who weren't even right-wing at all, like the Parkland shooter, like shit like that. But it's like, you know for a fact that you're lying, but you need to lie about this because that's how you get your money. And if anyone speaks out against it, like any one of us, we're just as bad as the people that are doing the Christchurch shooting. Like me, Monkey, Satsu, any one of us are just as bad as the Christchurch shooter in their mind.
Real quick, in the chat there, Evil One says Proud Boys fought back and now they're racist. Yeah. I mentioned I kind of support what the Proud Boys were doing because the police themselves weren't fighting back against this shit. So what recourse did anyone have except vigilantism?
Dante in the chat says, so 100% is Islamic terrorist right wing now? Yeah, they consider Islamic terrorist right wing. That's not a joke. Try posting on Twitter. Monkey, give this a try. Post on Twitter and say that Islamic terrorism isn't right wing, and you'll get 100 people in your mentions going, yes, it is.
Oh yeah, I've seen the fights before. Like, yeah, they're fundamentalists. That makes them right wing. Did you see the Owen Jones article where he said that gays and Muslims should come together to fight the real menace, Christians?
What? But it's just this idea that they keep saying white supremacist violence is on the rise. Like, no, it's not. If you look at the FBI statistics,
oh god,
for 100,000 black people, sorry, Satsu, commit hate crimes at a rate like 3 times higher than white people.
Well, let's talk about that for a minute, because when they say that hate crimes are on the rise, what they forget to mention is that they have more agencies reporting, and the actual percentage of it isn't changing. It's just you have more people reporting. If you have more agencies reporting, of course there's going to be more fucking.
But they also count proven hoaxes, like Jussie Smollett and that one with that. Hold on, I actually retweeted it because I want to get this perfectly right. It was a Jewish family who owned a cafe
Oh, yes.
and claimed to be victims of the Holocaust. They faked a hate crime against themselves and got found out for faking it.
Yeah, we just read that story on Lords of the Night last night, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay, let's move on to something a little funnier. God damn it. This one comes from Jack. Kate Mann on why female candidates get ruled unelectable so quickly.
Because no one wants a female ruler?
Forget everything you guys know about misogyny for just a second, okay? We're about to get the real definition of misogyny. In her book, Down Girl, The Logic of Misogyny, philosopher Kate Mann defines misogyny not as an emotion men feel, but as an environment women experience and a way in which they're judged. It's not us. It's not us anymore. But it's still our fault, I'm sure.
It's always our fault.
It's a powerful twist and one that does a lot to help explain the Democratic primary so far. Did you fuckers happen to notice that as of present, the person who's gotten the most love is Kamala Harris? The traditional definition of misogyny is hatred of women. Yeah, because that's what it is, you silly bitch. To man, this definition is senseless given the social structures misogyny needs to describe. So, the fuck are you talking about? See, did you notice what she is, though? She's a philosopher. If anybody tells you they're a philosopher, just give them the finger and walk away, which is what we're going to do to her, because she's full of shit, and there's nothing. This one comes from, and this one is actually kind of part of what we've been talking about. RCRP Ripley sends us this story from the Sacramento Bee. This might be our last one, guys. I'm getting a little tired here. I need to go lay back down. Jury trial set for counter-protesters of 2016 Capitol clash with white supremacists.
Yeah.
A jury trial date awaits anti-fascist activists 3 years after a wild melee between white supremacists and counter-protesters at California's Capitol that left nearly a dozen injured.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
How could that be?
Well, they're nonviolent, but they probably got swept up in it accidentally.
I'm about to say they don't do anything bad. They're not bad. They're all. I'm confused.
I think I have a story that can top that.
Oh, go ahead.
Yale, this is a petition at Yale University to disarm the police and donate money to BLM.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Disarm the police. Yeah, that's a good idea. Somebody's breaking into your house. Why don't you call those police that have what? Stick? Are they allowed to have nightsticks still?
I don't think so.
Sri Lanka suicide bomber who killed cops was pregnant. Beautiful. Yeah, I'm not going to read that. That'll make me remember. No dead kids, no dead animals on this show. Yeah, I think I'm going to wrap that up. Chat, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today. Thanks for the donations. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate your generosity. Sinatra, is there anything you want to pimp out today?
Yeah, Ghost Poo will be on my side channel tonight unless I can get this strike resolved. And
Which side channel?
Sinatra Says live streams. I'll smash that in the chat.
Okay. I'm subscribed to all of your channels as far as I know, but I don't think everybody here is.
You should be.
That'll be at 5:30.
If you're not, you're double gay.
That'll be at 5:30 Eastern time, guys. So make sure you check that out. Satsu, anything you want to pimp out?
Fam 2 cents. Subscribe to my cooking channel if you haven't already.
Alrighty, and tonight we will be on Scribe Light's channel. This is Friday, right? Yeah. Scribe Light's channel at 9 p.m. Eastern time for Lords of the Night. Then we'll be over on 2 Cents Plus, finishing up Borderlands 1, and maybe starting us some 7 Days to Die. So, guys, make sure you check those out. I'd like to thank Sinatra and Satsu for joining me today. Everyone, have a great day. We'll see you next time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.